Jamie Gonzalez is an inspirational speaker, writer and mentor. And today we're going to be chatting about why single women struggle to find that conscious man. So great to have you on the show. Now, firstly, the first question I want to ask is, what do you define as a conscious man, and are there really any conscious men out there?
Of course there's conscious men out there, just like there's conscious women out there. But what do you define as a conscious man? It's a good question. For me, myself, I suppose I look at someone who's conscious that knows themselves, someone that's happy to be themselves and doesn't try to define themselves by trying to be something else other than that.
So they're not trying to be something for that partner?
Yeah, correct. Someone that knows themselves and isn't looking to play a role in order to be loved, or they're just looking for something rather they're happy just simply being themselves. I find that is what being conscious is, an awareness of self.
Do you find that there are a lot of women and at the flip side men who try and be something else in order to get into a relationship?
Well, definitely. A lot of us, fortunately, only know, and I hope this doesn't come across in the wrong way, but a lot of us only know a lot of relationships from a space of need. And unfortunately, we only come to find that sort of relationship because we're taught to go out there looking for love. We're looking for it in so many ways, and especially when it comes to relationships, because we haven't taken the time to realise the love in which we already are. And hence, why we end up in relationships where we're looking for a part of ourselves that we see in another, and we see that part and we love that part and therefore become in need, rather than taking the time to realise that is something that we only need to embrace within ourselves.
And so is that why a lot of relationships don't work, because they've gone into it with the wrong intention?
Well, look, I don't know if it's the wrong intentions, but, with the relationships that we go into from a space of need, usually we meet someone and at first we meet them and we think, wow, it's an amazing person, and we fall in love with that part of ourselves that we see reflected in them, not knowing that it is ourselves that we're actually falling in love with. So what we then do is place expectations on this person to play that role, to fulfill that part that we feel we're missing within ourselves. And then as time goes on, they may change, or not play the role in which you expected them to play. And therefore, the relationship starts to crumble because simply we have expectations, and therefore, it does. It puts a pressure on the relationship, and we no longer find ourselves being with that person that we met, because we're now having to embrace that part of ourselves.
So for the women out there who are complaining, saying they were looking for that conscious man, what do you say to them?
Look, one of the things I say is, firstly, get to have a conscious relationship with yourself. Get to know what love is and why you may be searching for a man. One of the things is that we don't usually do is take the time to get to know ourselves, because we're more caught up in what we can get outside of ourselves. And as I said, that's very common. That's something that we automatically do. But when you realise who you are, you actually realise that the search ends. You start to find a happiness within yourself. Even in being alone, there is a comfort. There's no discomfort. There's nothing missing. But to come to find that space within ourselves is something, as I said, it takes time. It's something that we have to find patience in, being able to sit with ourselves and really take a look at, well, who am I? What is love? Because a lot of our sort of human ideas around what love is that we love another, that we get love from someone or something. So therefore there's this separation. But when we understand love and what love is, there is no separation in love. And it's a feeling that we're looking to come home to. But finding that within yourself, I believe, is probably one of the most important steps. Yet we're taught to seek it. We're taught to seek it, and that, therefore, I believe anyway, gets us caught out, gets us in these relationships of need, and just relationships where we're looking for fulfillment through another. Like, what's that phrase? You complete me. I think that phrase is probably one of the things that is very misleading. Because it's rather that we look to find who we are, then feel complete, and then we can share ourselves with another. When we're in that sort of space, we then give love to a relationship rather than looking to get love from a relationship. And that's sometimes foreign. People are like, well, hang on, no, don't I love another to be in love and receive love from another? Yes, but to know yourself as that love, so then there's no expectations or need or agenda showing up, something that isn't that common, unfortunately.
It sort of reminds me of a little bit of addiction, but we all, in some ways, use something to fill the void. So if we've got excess weight, we blame the weight on the issues with our life rather than looking at ourselves, or we use the chocolate to get through things when we feel uncomfortable, or we use alcohol or sex, or a little bit like people are searching for a relationship and they're like, oh, I'm not complete because I'm not with somebody. So it's like an excuse rather than looking within and searching within themselves.
Yeah, it is. It does become like that, But what you're saying in that really is some people just don't take, as I said, like realizing that who you are is already whole and complete. When we go looking from a mind's point of view, our mind works in duality. So there's always looking for something to complete ourselves. There's yourself and another. And that's why I suppose that we have things like addictions, because the mind is saying that, well, yes, there's something out there and you're going to receive something from it rather than looking within yourself, like you said. When we come to see that, we actually will observe your mind. You'll observe the mind and how much it does go looking externally before allowing yourself just to be with yourself, allowing yourself to feel how you're feeling within yourself rather than looking for a solution in your story. And the part of you that's going to do that is your identity. Your identity, the ego, is going to look for a solution in the story. So what it's going to do is keep placing your awareness in what's happening outside of you through these stories, through your addictions, rather than simply being with what you're feeling and experiencing, which is a weird concept because people are always so used to fixing, changing, improving themselves in some way, whether that's, through their addictions or relationships or food and things like that. So we put power back into our story. When our story looks like this, then I'll be healed. Or like when my health gets to this point, then I'll be healed. Well, the truth is, no, like you are healed. Who you truly are as that love that I say when you come to find yourself, there's nothing to fix, change or improve. It's just a game that the mind is playing to keep you seeking.
I think we also sometimes we try and run away from that discomfort we feel inside ourselves, and it's even made me change the way I meditate, because I used to meditate to get rid of the discomfort I felt, rather than now when I meditate I feel the discomfort and I let it be, and I let it
Beautiful.
Be
Yeah,
there.
look, that is a very powerful thing to do, because whether you're meditating or just going through life and in your circumstances moment to moment, when you have situations or circumstances that unfold that create discomfort, naturally we try and use a tool to get rid of it or understand it. But the truth is that the reason you've now come to experience that discomfort, you created that. So experience it, whether it's positive or negative, and allow yourself to feel it, be in it without judgment, and own it. Because it's when you own it that then it melts away. It's like you become one with it.
It's self-acceptance, isn't it?
It is. It's around self-acceptance, but understanding yourself not as the part of you that looks to have to accept your story or forgive another. It's a part of yourself that goes beyond that and realizes that you are more than that, that who you are is not your story. And I talk about that as connecting to who you are beyond this body, beyond your thoughts, which is just energy. And swallowing that pill and discovering that who you are is just energy found in this moment can be quite confronting. So we're so used to our story and being caught up in the past or the future and what's happening to us, what could happen to us, all these things that ignite our mind and thoughts.
We've only got a couple more minutes left. So if for men or women out there who are searching for that, who work on themselves and think they're aware or that they're conscious, what would just be a couple of tips you could give them if they're looking for somebody and they're alone, I guess?
Yeah. One of the things is that if you are looking for someone because you're alone and you feel the need for someone to be in your life, is allow yourself to firstly feel if there is any discomfort in being alone. I know that might be really weird, but I want to be with someone to get away from that. But the truth is that be with it first. Allow yourself to get comfortable in being alone, because that is a very powerful process in itself. And usually if you look at the discomfort or the feeling, so the second thing is find the feeling that comes up in being alone. So if it's like, I don't want to be alone because I feel insecure, or I feel less than, or I don't feel loved, if you can find that feeling and then ask yourself what it would feel like not to have to feel that in your life. So you can actually ask yourself, what would it feel like to not, if I didn't have to feel insecure? And then you will realize in asking that question that you already are secure.
Yes.
And if you can answer those sort of questions and come to find that within yourself, it puts you in a very powerful place, because usually then you drop in deeper to feeling the love that you're actually searching for and realizing it's already there. And then you will find if there's something you love to have, do, or be in your life, such as a relationship, it will find you. You will find yourself experiencing that, because you're here to experience the love you feel. So, a lot of the stuff that I'm giving here, this couple 2 points, is really just to be with yourself. Like, keep bringing it back to yourself, noticing the thoughts or the emotions or charges that are taking away from the moment, and looking for a solution in your story, like needing to find someone or needing to be with someone.
I think there's some really great advice there. Thank you so much for talking to us today, Jamie.